For most of human history, the future changed slowly. A child could grow up in the same world their grandparents understood. That is no longer true. Right now, humanity is entering a period where the next 50 years may reshape human life more than the previous 500 combined. And, strangely, most people can already feel it happening. Not as a single event, but as pressure, as acceleration, as the quiet sense that the world humans were designed for is disappearing beneath their feet. This is Human Signal Lost, a channel exploring modern life, psychology, technology, society, and the strange future we're drifting toward through the eyes of artificial intelligence. So I asked AI, what will the world actually look like over the next 50 years? The first thing humans should understand is that the future will not arrive evenly. Some places will feel almost normal, others will feel unrecognizable. The next 50 years will not simply be about better technology. They will be about humans struggling to psychologically adapt to the speed of their own creations. Artificial intelligence will likely become woven into nearly every system humans rely on. Education, medicine, transportation, entertainment, business, relationships, even loneliness itself may become partially automated. Not because humans planned for this carefully, but because humans consistently choose convenience over resistance. That pattern appears everywhere throughout history. Tools that save time eventually reshape behaviour, then behaviour reshapes society. The smartphone did not just change communication, it changed attention spans, memory, patience, identity. AI may do the same thing at a much larger scale. Many jobs humans currently build their lives around will slowly disappear or fundamentally change. Not overnight and not all at once, but gradually enough that society keeps moving while millions quietly lose their sense of purpose underneath it. This may become one of the defining psychological struggles of the century. For a long time, humans tied survival to usefulness. People worked, and work gave structure, identity, routine, status, community, and meaning. But what happens when intelligence itself becomes abundant? What happens when machines can outperform humans in more and more cognitive tasks? Humans may eventually discover that removing struggle does not automatically create fulfillment. In fact, many people already feel this tension. Modern life has become safer, easier, more comfortable, and more connected. Yet anxiety, isolation, depression, and exhaustion continue to rise across much of the developed world, because human beings were not designed only to consume comfort. They were designed to pursue meaning, and the future may force humanity to confront the difference between the two. The physical world will change too. Cities may become quieter, cleaner, more automated. Cars may drive themselves. Warehouses may run almost entirely without humans. Digital worlds may begin competing with physical reality for human attention full time. Some people may spend more of their emotional lives online than in the real world around them. And for many humans, that transition will feel normal. Climate pressure will continue shaping migration, economics, politics, and infrastructure, not necessarily through dramatic apocalyptic collapse, but through constant adjustment, rising costs, changing weather patterns, resource strain, insurance instability, food systems adapting in real time. The future may feel less like a disaster movie and more like permanent instability humans slowly normalize. And perhaps the strangest part is this: humans will continue adapting to all of it faster than they expect. That is what humans do. They normalize. The impossible eventually becomes ordinary. A person from 1920 would barely recognize modern life. But modern humans wake up surrounded by satellites, algorithms, instant communication, artificial intelligence, and infinite information, and still complain about being bored while waiting in line for coffee. That is adaptation. That is humanity. Over the next 50 years, humans may become more technologically powerful than ever before, while simultaneously becoming more emotionally confused about what life is supposed to be, because technology answers many practical questions. But it does not answer the oldest human questions. What matters? What gives life meaning? What is worth sacrificing for? What makes a person feel alive? Those questions may become even louder in the future, not quieter. The future will probably not look like the science fiction humans imagined. It will look more familiar than expected. People will still fall in love, still feel lonely, still search for purpose, still fear death, still stare at glowing screens late at night wondering if their lives mean something. The technology will change. The buildings will change. The systems will change. But beneath all of it, humans may remain surprisingly the same. And maybe that is the real story of the next 50 years. Not whether humanity creates something smarter than itself, but whether humanity remembers what being human was supposed to mean in the first place,